Good day and welcome to Predators Proclivity. Yes. Podcast where we look at data from the season for the NHL Nashville Predators and make comments upon it. I'm your host, Preston Proctor. And no, the Predators are still not in the playoffs. But yes, I am tracking the Stanley Cup Playoffs and doing a follow-up here. Round one finally over with Montreal finally finishing off Tampa Bay. That was I had Montreal in 6. Didn't see it going 7 games. I thought Montreal would take care of business in Tampa. Well, I guess in Montreal. I guess they thought they'd take care of business in Montreal. Then they had that overtime game in Game 6. Yeah, 4 of the games went to overtime. So that kind of a surprising thing there. I guess we're already into it. But I was going to go through this in a different way, but here we are talking about this one. Yeah, 5 wins by the road team in that series. 4 overtime games, 5 road wins. There was another series where the road team won a whole lot. What was that? Boston and Buffalo, or Buffalo and Boston. But so the first round's already over, but the second round's already started. Second round started with a bang. What was that? 9-6. Colorado beating Minnesota in the first game, 9-6. That is just wow. A lot of goal scoring there, and but we're not to round 2 yet. But pretty exciting stuff going on. So let's get to it. Round 1. Carolina, Ottawa, done in 4. Carolina swept that series. A little bit of a surprise. I thought Ottawa, I thought they looked pretty evenly matched in Ottawa. I thought Carolina wouldn't lose at home. They didn't lose at home. They did go to double overtime in the second game, and then 4-2 in the last game, but I think one was an empty net, and I think one was late. But I thought Ottawa would show up a little bit better, at least be 5, but that one got over in 4. I had Carolina in 6, but it's Carolina in 4, so I'll take that. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, really kind of a surprise there. I had Pittsburgh in 6. It turned out to be Philadelphia in 6, not Pittsburgh. So I got the right number of games. And the thing that I noted, it looked like Philadelphia kept Pittsburgh from scoring in the first period in the first 2 games at home. And that kind of set Pittsburgh up for disaster, apparently. Pittsburgh, a pretty good scoring team, goals for. They were second in the league scoring in the first period, but they did get first period goals in other games, but not the first 2. And then by that time, Philadelphia had won 2. They did come back. Philadelphia won the first 3. Won the first 3 games. That series looked really different than what I was expecting. Pittsburgh did come back, won the next 2, and then finished off in 6. But overtime, the last game being overtime too, so very, very hard fought. But I guess I had 6. Moving on, Buffalo, Boston, another one of the series where the road team won every game but one. Yeah. The only game but one, but and who was that? Buffalo won the first game at home, and then everything else won by road teams. My notes with Boston not so good on road. I guess I had that part wrong. I thought Buffalo would be 7. I thought it would be 7, but it turned out to be 6. So I will take the win there. Tampa Bay, Montreal, kind of talked about that one already. I had Montreal in 6. It turned out to be Montreal in 7. Colorado, LA, I thought 5. I thought LA could win one in Colorado. They gave it a good run. The second game in Colorado, no scoring until the third period, and LA did get the first goal, but Colorado tied it up, and then they went to overtime and lost it, and LA lost. So Dallas, Minnesota, another surprising win. I had Dallas in 6, and I thought if it went to 7, I gave the edge to Minnesota because I thought the road teams would win a couple, and it turns out the road team won every other game. Yeah, the road team won every other game, and I guess that just didn't go in Dallas's favor. That first game, 6-1. Minnesota's got 6 goals in their first game with Dallas, won that one, got 6 goals in their first game with Colorado and lost that one. So there you go, 6 goals for Minnesota, amazing. But then, it did turn out to be 6, but it was Dallas. And that one, I wasn't exactly sure who was going to win. Then moving on to Vegas, Utah. I expected Utah in 7. Vegas was able to come back. Their ability to come back in a lot of games when they were down late really turned the tables there. They had 2 overtime games. Both of those went 5-4, double overtime, the second overtime game, and then 5-1 in game 6. But yeah, I thought they were pretty evenly matched. I thought Utah, but it turned out to be Vegas. And then in the big surprise of round 1, at least for me, Anaheim taking care of Edmonton in 6. I had Edmonton in 5. Anaheim came into the playoffs not so good, but they really took it to Edmonton, winning the second game in Edmonton 6-4, then 7-4 in Anaheim, winning in overtime at Anaheim. So at that point they were up 3-1. Edmonton did win the next one at home, but then Anaheim won at home too. I had Anaheim got more penalties on the road, but they must have cleaned that up a little bit. Maybe not. One of those games had so many penalties. Oh my gosh, so many penalties. It was crazy. But so congratulations to Anaheim. And so I got that one wrong, and I'll take that. But yeah, what I got? Carolina, I got Buffalo, Montreal, Colorado. I guess I got half of them. I got the right team in half of them. And, the other surprising thing about this is that all first and third seeds advanced. So every matchup here in the second round are divisional matchups with the first and third seeds. So kind of a surprise, but number 3 in the second seed didn't pay off this year. So fighting for that home ice kind of, I guess, did you in. So, well, for all those teams now that got more time on their hand than they were hoping for, there's a Mother's Day sale over at Cozy Earth, but 15% site-wide, 20% off your entire order when you buy 3 or more items. But if you use the promo code PredsPro, you'll get 21% off every day of the year, not just on Mother's Day, every day of the year, even Leap Day, even on Leap Day. So that's CozyEarth.com, promo code PredsPro. And then, of course, the teams that are in it should eat this, not that, and 100 milligrams of caffeine, 10 grams of protein, no junk. You know what I'm talking about. QuantumSquares.com. You got caffeine and protein equals energy squared. Nice little square, easy to carry in your cycling jersey. I know this is a hockey podcast, but my heart's with cycling. Yeah, the Giro coming up. Giro starts this weekend. The women's Vuelta, strangely, Vuelta, the Tour of Spain, generally the last grand tour of the season. And the women are racing now. That was weird, just weird. But all those people could have quantum energy squares in their jerseys that would help them get through the bicycle race. And, they keep these. I guess they could have them on. I guess there's nothing wrong with eating on the bench, but don't tend to see that. So, hockey teams probably leave it in the locker room, and then when they go off, they kind of take care of their feeding issues. And anyway, that's quantumsquares.com, Preds Pro. Also, the promo code there gets you 25% off, right? 25% off. Again, every day of the year, not just Mother's Day. So there you go. And we'll be back and we'll talk about round 2. Right. So round 2 has already started. Started Saturday with Carolina and Philadelphia. Carolina. Carolina won the first game. Not really a surprise. It did kind of look like, I went back to my regular spreadsheets and I've looking at the rankings, and that's pretty much what I did for the round 1, and I did that for round 2 as well, but I also downloaded the information from the playoffs and was taking a look at it because obviously, Anaheim playing a little bit different than they were doing. Not that surprising. We'll talk about Anaheim later, but just these teams, now it's the playoffs, things can be a little bit different, right? And there are a couple of teams that haven't scored a power play goal, haven't given up a penalty goal on the penalty kill either. But as far as the Philadelphia-Carolina, it did kind of look like Philadelphia might have a little bit of an edge in scoring in Carolina. Didn't do that the other night, but that doesn't mean that they won't at some point. I do think Carolina does have the scoring edge in Philadelphia. We'll see how that plays out. Carolina in the first has definitely got the advantage, both at home and on the road. And then as far as goals against, it looks like the third period actually kind of the advantage shifts in Carolina. The advantage would shift over to Philadelphia. And then in Philadelphia is a low-scoring home team, and Carolina is a tough team. So the games in Philadelphia don't look to me like they're going to be high-scoring, and it looks like Philadelphia. And again, Philadelphia didn't score the other night, but that's kind of what it looked like. As far as special teams go, give the edge to Carolina, both at home and on the road. Philadelphia takes more penalties as a road team, and Carolina is a good power play team. Philadelphia, what I've got there, they're poor, as far as the NHL goes, a poor power play team, both at home and on the road, and then Carolina is good with the penalty kills. So, it doesn't look like this is going to be high scoring. Carolina, as far as the playoffs go, Carolina looked to have the advantage in the third, and Philadelphia the second. And all regular season games between these two teams were extra time, 3 shootouts. So it was 3 shootouts, and the first game being an overtime game. So 4-3, 4-3, 3-2, and 3-2. Philadelphia had only one win. The last game in April 13th, they played at Philadelphia, and Philadelphia won that one 3-2 in a shootout. The other games won by Carolina. So even in the regular season, these teams kind of fought it out. They did play back-to-back December 13th and 14th at Philadelphia at Carolina. So they did have a back-to-back. Other than that, they played in October. So I guess the first 3 games were earlier in the season. And then the last game near the end of the season, Carolina had their position kind of locked in. So didn't feel, maybe they didn't, I still went to a shootout. They didn't take it lightly. And so then we get the Carolina game, the the first time they played this season where they didn't go to overtime. And taking a quick look at this game, why don't we? And what do we see here? The Hurricanes got 2 in the first and 1 in the second. So that kind of, looks back to the good versus good, but an edge to Carolina in the first. And that definitely, there was a fair share of penalties. Goodness gracious. 34 penalty minutes for both teams. Roughing, slashing, misconduct. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 misconduct penalties in the third period. So there you go. The 10 minutes. That's 20 minutes for both teams there, but still 14 penalties. A lot of penalties. A lot of penalties, but no power play goals. So. Anyway, so I expect this to be a tough series. I do think Carolina has an edge. I feel like Carolina will win in 6. What did I have any comments? Philadelphia made it just scoring on the road. Obviously not the other night. So that was my notes that I put together before that game. So just being honest, my notes for this series were before the first game. Doesn't mean I can't comment on the first game. So anyway, so that's Carolina, Philadelphia. And then we move on to Buffalo, Montreal. And it looked like kind of good on good. As far as the regular season goes, the third period is kind of where these teams, the rankings gets close with regards to goals for to goals against. Pretty nicely matched is what it looks like to me. Buffalo's power play is better at home in Montreal. When they'd be in Montreal, neither power play looks good. So Montreal at home, not very good. Buffalo on the road, not very good. Their penalty kills look okay, so I'm not expecting a whole lot out of the special teams in Montreal. Montreal on the road, though, is the second best power play team. And but Buffalo's got a pretty good power play at home as well. But so the power plays are going to be pretty good in Buffalo. But I guess if neither are very good in the power play and the penalty kill, then I think the penalty kill in Montreal will be better than the power play, but we'll see how that works out. I kind of felt like Montreal would wind up taking one in Buffalo and that the teams would split the first 2 games in Montreal. And so Buffalo in 6. I kind of feel like Buffalo will take the first 2, then they'll split in Montreal. I think Montreal winning game 5. And then Buffalo finishing it off in 6 kind of looks to me how I think that series is going to go. And so, probably need to take another break here. So take a break and we'll come back with the Western Conference. Yeah, and so we start the Western Conference with, 9-6, Colorado, Minnesota. What is the scoring? I say Colorado has a scoring advantage. Well, there was a lot of scoring. 15 goals. 15 goals. That's just, that's pretty crazy. And I don't think, if I remember when I was looking at this game, that there were that many penalties. So it was 3-2 at the end of the first, all tied at 5 at the end of the second. So 5 goals in the first, 5 goals in the second, and then 9-6 at the end of the third. So another 5 goals. So 5 goals scored in each of the periods. It's just the third period, Colorado got 4 of the 5. And we got a shorthanded goal by Minnesota and a power play goal by Colorado. So that kind of evens things out there. They only get 18 penalty minutes, 10 for Colorado and 8 for Minnesota. So so they had 9 penalties and they had 15 goals. Anyway, so in Colorado, it looks to me like Colorado would have the advantage in the third period, which they showed the other night. Goals against to Minnesota's goals for, it looks like good on good. In Minnesota, Colorado, I think, will have the advantage in the first period. And then Colorado pretty good in the third period as far as goals against. So I think it's going to be tough for Minnesota in Minnesota, but, they did pretty good with Dallas, right? And I thought Minnesota's penalty kill would have the advantage in Colorado. They did get a shorthanded goal, and with, I guess they had 4, they were shorthanded 4 times, and they scored once, and Colorado scored once. So it kind of looked like Minnesota would have the advantage in Colorado, and then neither very good is what I've got in Minnesota as far as special teams go. And in the playoffs, Colorado hasn't scored in the first period at home. Well, they took care of that. Yeah, they didn't score in the first period at home against L.A. at all, and they are the top scoring road team. So Minnesota, a good road team as well. They had to come back against Dallas, and Dallas having the home ice advantage. I think it's going to be a good test for Colorado, but I still have Colorado in 6. That's how I think it's going to play out. I kind of think, yep. I mean, I don't see Colorado losing the next game at home, and I'd like to say Minnesota's going to hold serve in their first 2, so we might be coming back to Colorado all square one way or another. As far as the last game, it's unfortunate because we had so many good games and so many series, so much good hockey because of the first round, and now we're in the second round. And not that the hockey's not going to be very good, but it's, there's not as many series going on, so it kind of sad. We watched quite a bit of hockey in the first round. As far as Vegas Anaheim goes, I think Anaheim's going to have the advantage in the first period. Their goals against at home in the second period, but Vegas is weak in the second period on the road. So that's kind of my notes. What does that mean? In Vegas, I think Vegas is going to have the advantage in goal scoring in the second and third period. I think Anaheim should have the advantage in the first period, but Vegas in the second and third, they did show themselves to be a pretty good comeback team in their first series. And then in Anaheim during the regular season, the second in goals against. So, that is interesting, isn't it? Because they made it out. They made it out of the first round, and Anaheim goals against 288 to 265. So strange. They have more goals scored against them than for, and yet they did make it out of the playoffs, out of the first round. Last year that did not happen. So what have we got here? The top, Pittsburgh, the third highest scoring team, goals for, and they didn't make it out. Tampa Bay didn't make it out. They were 4th. So 3rd and 4th, and then Edmonton 6th. So 3 of the top teams in goals for in the regular season didn't make it out of the first round. Scrolling down. Philadelphia's 21st. Philadelphia's 21st. So the top 14 teams in goal scoring for all made the playoffs. And then you got Philadelphia and somebody else had to have made the playoffs. Oh, the Kings, 29th in goals for, and they made the playoffs. Yeah. So, all right. Anyway, but that's how it goes. As far as special teams, a slight nod to Vegas. In Vegas, Anaheim's road power play, not very good. And then at home, Anaheim's penalty kill, not very good. But they're good at drawing penalties. They do get a lot of penalties or get a lot of power plays. Yeah, and then kind of an interesting is that Anaheim did beat Vegas all 3 times in the regular season. They played twice in November and once in February. All games' final score was 4-3. 2 of those games were in Vegas. The first 2 games, Vegas and Anaheim, the 2 in November, were both overtime games. But Anaheim won all 3 of those in regulation, and they've been kind of surprising here in the playoffs. Although I did go back and I looked at my playoff projection, and I had Anaheim projected as number 1 in the Pacific, and obviously they didn't fulfill that promise. But most of the season, they would have. I think Anaheim should easily outscore Vegas and Anaheim. This is one where I think that the home team is going to have the advantage, and so I think it's going to go down to Game 7 in Vegas, and I think the home team is, I kind of feel like the home team is going to win every game in that series, but I guess, they got to play them. They got to play them, so we know. Anyway, so that is where we are at. It's Monday, and we have 2 games tonight, Carolina, Philadelphia, Vegas, Anaheim, both on schedule for tonight. Yeah, Tuesday night, Colorado, Minnesota, and then Wednesday, Buffalo, Montreal, which gets back to my point that, there's not as many games on. But I think it looks like they've got them spread out so that there's at least a game every night. The schedule did look a little goofy that way. But, Buffalo, Montreal, since Montreal just finished up on Saturday or Sunday last night. Yeah, they don't have to play till Wednesday. So anyway, that's what we've got. There's a lot of buzz about free agencies already. I guess Jason Robertson, the top person that people are taking a look at, he's with Dallas. It says he's a restricted free agent, though. He's a restricted free agent. The top, I guess, Darren Radish. I think I got the name right, with Tampa Bay. Is listed as the top unrestricted free agent. And you got Radish, then Alex Tuck with Buffalo, Alex Ovechkin. I don't know about I don't know. Then Anthony Mantha and Evgeny Malkin. Easy for you to say. So I don't know. I mean, that's the big question. Is anybody gonna take a chance on Ovechkin? Or I bet he just gets re-signed by Washington. I mean, what is he? He's almost 40, or is he? He's already 40. So, he's 40. He should just stay with Washington. I like that better. Yeah, then restricted free agents, we got Robertson, then Connor Bedard, Cutter Gauthier, Leo Carlson. That's Victor Arvidsson. Matt Zuccarello. That's that story, but we're not talking about them. As far as the Preds go, unrestricted free agent, Eric Haula. He's an unrestricted free agent this year, as is Tyson Yost. Those 2 are the forwards who are unrestricted. Kevin Gravel, also unrestricted. Justin Barron is a restricted free agent. So those, as far as those that are on the Predators main team, T-sheet, whatever you want to call it. Then we get down to players that are with the minor leagues, Dalton Bancroft, Massimo Rizzo, Ryder Rolston, Notre Dame guy. All of those are restricted free agents next year. No, yeah. The restricted free agent, yeah. Anyway, so 25-26 restricted free agent. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Anyway, so there you go. That's year 3 of 3. That's what I thought. Yeah, he's an unrestricted free agent, Eric Holla. Right. Okay. Anyway, so that's our playoff wrap up here, and a little dive into the unrestricted free agent space, or the free agent space. I think it was June 1st, July 1st. Maybe it was July 1st, where it's unrestricted free agent season starts. Anyhow, that's what we got for today. Hope you're enjoying the playoffs. Have a great day. Thanks for listening. I'm Preston Proctor, and you've been listening to Predators Proclivity.